On this episode, we're talking about television versus social media, Google's upcoming algorithm changes, and how to market orthodontics. Hey everybody, and welcome to the 88 Dental Marketing Show. I'm your host, Joshua Scott, and this is episode number 8. Count it. Episode 8 of the 88 show. I'm liking that. And you can see we got a little bit of a set change going on behind us. It's just my office. Just trying to move some things around and see what I like better. Let me know what you think. Leave it in the comments. Come on. Let me know what you think in the comments. You like the bookshelves? You like the lights? Let me know what you think. And let's get to some questions.
Josh Michael says, dude, TV is out and social media is in now. Not in 10 years. 10 years is way too late.
Michael, thanks for the question, man, and all the interaction on YouTube over last week's episode. Michael's referring to episode 7, the live episode, and some comments I made about social media versus television. And I appreciate it, man. You know, I think in the end, you and I are coming at this from the same way. I mean, I think we think the same thing about this. My approach was talking about television versus social media as far as, look, does television have more ad revenue than social media? Yes. Does television have more viewership, more eyeballs than social media? Yes. And so I think you were challenging me on that point, but the fact is social media going to quickly overtake that in the near future? Absolutely. Has it eclipsed television yet? No. And so that's where I was coming at, and the point I was trying to make is, look, like we all, it's different now because we're in the middle of this paradigm shift, and we grew up with these like titans of media and these network channels like ABC and NBC and CBS, and I mean throw like ESPN and CNN, Fox News in that mix too. So we grew up with these network television channels being the titan media companies of the day. Our kids today, they're probably going to grow up and have no context for that. I mean, the titan media networks of their day are going to be Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter and Instagram. And so I completely agree with you. I think your question was more, or your statement was more one of acceptance. Like, are those completely accepted in today's society, and is that the future? Absolutely, yes. But as far as like television hasn't gone away yet. And when it comes to a live sporting event, man, it's still really tough to compete with that. I mean, social media is not even closely touching it when it comes to ad revenue or viewership or eyeballs or attention. And so I agree with you. Is social media, do you need to have a plan today? Yes. And I actually think, I'm kind of with you. We should have had a plan for it yesterday. But what I'm trying to do is drive awareness to it and try to give a little bit of a metaphor and an analogy of this is where it's going. How we once grew up with these network television media channels, that's what Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn will be in the near future.
Question number 2 comes from Shelly. I heard Google is changing their algorithm on April 21st. If you don't have a mobile site by then, you'll be penalized. Is this true?
Shelly, great question, and I'm glad you brought this up because this announcement came out and some people were kind of freaking out about it and pulling the whole like, if we don't have a mobile site on April 21st, are we going to disappear from Google? What gives Google the right to control, that type of decision making, all those things. Look, when April 21st comes around, if you don't have a mobile site, will you disappear from the world of Google? No. Google's press release said that they are going to their algorithm will start giving more weight to sites that are mobile friendly. And it's Google's way of pushing everybody to that place of going, we're going to start putting deadlines on this. If you're not mobile friendly by April 21st, it's probably going to affect your ranking. And if you're in a very competitive SEO market, that's something that you really, really need to take into consideration. And so, look, the reason Google did this, I mean, I think sometimes we think that Google's just out there like the big 400-pound gorilla in the room, just controlling and doing whatever they want to do. But look, when we think about this, it makes absolute sense. I mean, look at this graph from The Economist, right? The amount of smartphone usage has just exploded. I mean, it's exponential growth just since the year 2010. I mean, it's shot up. And so what Google knows right now is that the majority of people are accessing websites on mobile devices, on tablets, on smartphones. I mean, right now. And while in some places that number may be like 53% mobile and 47% desktop or laptop, it's not going to stay there. I mean, based on these numbers that we just saw, Google knows that in the next 5 to 10 years, it's going to be like 80, 85, 90, 95% of people are going to be accessing sites on mobile devices. And so if Google wants to remain relevant and give people, they're searching on a device for websites and Google gives them something that's not mobile friendly, that doesn't work for that user's relationship with Google. And so they're trying to provide quality results. And Google's looking ahead and going, yeah, everybody's going to be accessing sites on mobile devices. You have to go there, or else we're just not going to list your site because it's going to give the user or whoever's searching for it a bad user experience on their device. And so we're simply just going to penalize you. And so it's smart on Google's part. It's what they need to do. It's where the industry's going. And honestly, if you haven't set up a mobile site or gotten into responsive design, maybe this is the kick in the pants that you need.
Question number 3 comes from Angela. How do you market orthodontics?
Angela, good question. I'm really glad this one came up because the place we're living in dentistry, there's so much technological advancement that it's really a great time to be a dentist. And orthodontics is one of those areas. I mean, from iTero to Damon braces to Insignia system, where it's almost like programmable GPS-like braces. I mean, some of the advancement there is really amazing. And so no longer is a bracket a bracket a bracket. I mean, that's just not the case anymore. And so, I don't know if you're a GP asking this question about how you market orthodontics in your practice, or if you're an orthodontist talking about how do you market in general. So I think some of this is going to be applicable to both for sure, but I'm going to go at it from the standpoint of you're an orthodontist. And so I think there's a few things there that you need to focus on. Number one being your expertise. I mean, in this day and age, talking about those differences, leading with education, establishing yourself as the expert, I think those are all huge, very important things. GPs now are doing a lot of orthodontics, but typically what I see them doing is traditional braces. So many of them are doing Invisalign or some type of clear retainer. And so if you're an orthodontist, you want to make the case for the advanced technology, the systems that you've become educated on, the faster treatment, the better treatment. I think one of the things out there is patients have a misconception that orthodontic treatment takes so long. And as the orthodontic expert in your area, that's a great opportunity for you to educate them and the different systems and different techniques to really speed up that treatment, that it doesn't take as long as it used to or that you think it does. So number one, establishing yourself as an expert. I think number two, a huge opportunity is with reviews. I mean, listen, you're seeing hundreds of orthodontic patients. There's no reason you shouldn't have dozens and dozens and dozens of reviews. And so from a consumer patient standpoint, let's say I have a teenager who I need to get into orthodontic treatment. I'm literally going to look at websites, but I'm going to look at reviews. And that's a way to make it easy for me to choose. For example, there's an orthodontist in my area, James Hutta, and his health grades profile, let me put it up here. 549 reviews on health grades. I mean, that's so many. I don't know if this guy has just been asking every single patient over the last 3, 4, 5 years to leave reviews on health grades. I don't know, but that's a lot. And if I'm looking for an orthodontist in my area, he just made it extremely easy on me to make that decision. So number 1, expertise. Number 2, reviews. And then I would say number 3 is you got to solve the money problem. You got to solve the money question. And so talking to patients about how they can afford that treatment, because the 2 misconceptions are, number 1, ortho takes a long time. Number 2, ortho is expensive. And so come at both of those misconceptions and give them options on how to afford that treatment, whether it's with Care Credit. There's a really new player out there right now called OrthoFi. It's orthofy.com. And it's a really, really interesting platform for patients to get on and interact with the treatment and the financial breakdown over a period of months with different down payments and all that. Looks like it could be really, really great. And so expertise, reviews, money, solve that problem. And if you can market all 3 of those areas and tie them together and tie them up real pretty with a bow, I think you win.
And Rick wants to know if there are any marketing lessons from the NCAA tournament.
Rick, great question. I love it. I can tell you're feeling some March Madness coming off of the first weekend of the NCAA tournament. And looking at the Sweet 16 this week, got some really predictable teams there that I think a lot of people picked. And man, there are some surprises for sure. Man, I would say, look, when it comes to sports, talent always wins. Talent always wins. It's one of those like absolutes, like marketing absolutes. And maybe I'll do something on this, but like in sports, talent always wins. If you're in a service industry, content always wins. If you're in retail, product always wins. If you're in the travel industry, convenience always wins. I mean, it just does. And so it's one of these marketing absolutes where talent always wins. I mean, look at Kentucky. It's like 60% of people pick them to win the tournament in their bracket. Whether or not they will remains to be seen. But after this undefeated season, I mean, Kentucky is clearly the favorite coming in because they are a massively talented team. I mean, nobody doubts that. And so in sports, talent always wins. However, hustle can surprise you. Just ask Iowa State or Baylor.
Under a minute to go. UAB down 2 until Iowa State. And then Robert Lee buries the 3. He had 3 of those, a game-high 21. Cyclones bucket, and then right back to the offense. The Blazers, William Lee, free throw jumper. He also hit 2 free throws with 12 seconds to go as UAB wins 60-59. With more from Louisville, here's Mike Rada.
So big props to UAB and Georgia State for pulling off the shocking first-round upsets. Man, it was a shame we didn't see them go any further, but they came out with some hustle and they surprised some really great teams. Guys, that's it for episode 8. I hope you enjoyed it. I had a good time talking basketball and social media and Google, all those things. Question of the show: what is your social media strategy for 2015? Guys, I'll see you next episode.